Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Sub-Auteurs. I'm MJ.
I'm Misha.
And I'm Andrew.
And today we are talking about hand.
Hand?
Is that a code for something?
Friend.
Maybe I should have introduced us like podcast. Dum-dums.
Bird.
Accurate. But yeah,
Yeah.
we're talking about the 2021 Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad. The, to be specific.
Yes.
By
Not to be
James Gunn.
confused with
Woo!
2016 Suicide Squad.
Yes.
No, yay.
The
The.
is very important in this. So yeah, we are once again seeing a Miss Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie as the Harley Quinn, and many of her other dangerous supervillain friends who actually went to jail. And you know the story. Government sends the most dangerous, conniving, gago. I have no other word for it. They're all very gago.
Idiotic.
Yes, quirky, eccentric villains form a team, aka the Suicide Squad.
Woohoo!
So yes, this is a sequel to the 2016 Suicide Squad by David Ayer. And okay, let's just jump right into it. What are your first impressions, guys?
Finally, The Rock. Oh, wait, wrong. Finally,
What?
I
Finally,
was gonna say that if you didn't.
sorry.
What?
Finally, DC finally has a good movie. Like,
Hey,
It was good.
You
Shazam
didn't
was
like
good.
Shazam or Wonder Woman?
like an amazing movie that unanimously, like, everybody loved. Wait, that is Shazam and Wonder Woman.
First Wonder Woman.
You
to be
said
clear.
you loved Aquaman.
Now, Aquaman was good too, but it was nowhere near as good Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad.
Yes.
This movie was cool. I gotta admit, I was scared to watch this because the first one was like a hate crime, but
Kind of.
this new one is just ridiculous in all the right ways. It's bloody, it's gory, it's violent, it's silly, it's funny, it's happy. It's James Gunn. It's James Gunn
It's-
being James Gunn, living
I
his
think
best life.
I think cool is an understatement. I think it's a lot of things, and you're right. You're right. It is a James Gunn movie. Like it's all his dark humor, unleashed. It's as if he wasn't held back by any studio executives. He was given basically free reign to do whatever he wanted for this movie, write whatever he needed to write,
Right.
shoot whatever
Just
he
like-
wanted to shoot. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like James Gunn was famously removed by Disney after Guardians of the Galaxy 2 came out. After he directed parts 1 and 2, he was removed from Disney from part 3 because of some controversial tweets he did a few years ago.
From 10
And-
years ago.
From 10
a
years
few
ago.
years ago. Maybe?
Well, at the time, 10 years ago, I think, or
Mhm.
approaching 10
yeah,
years.
a
but-
decade ago. A decade prior to that.
Right, exactly. But he had the support of the cast and everybody, and there was like online support for him to come back. So Disney took him back. But before they took him back, Warner Brothers came up, opened their checkbook, and said, "What do you want to do?" And that is why we have the Suicide Squad. And you know what? I loved it.
I just kind of feel sorry for David Ayer that he wasn't given this liberty to
Dirty.
go crazy. Because apparently, I mean, if you're updated on the news online, that David Ayer came out with a very lengthy statement, essentially saying that was not my movie. That's not what I wanted to do, pertaining to the first badly reviewed 2016 Suicide Squad with also Margot Robbie and Will Smith, etc., etc. Basically, most people said that the only good thing about it was just Margot Robbie, period. But yeah, before we get to the actual movie, what do you guys think of the movie that came before it? I mean, I think
I try not to think about it.
I think it's just, I think it's just really sad. I mean, it's David Ayer, the guy who gave us Training Day, the guy who shot Fury. I mean, like,
Yep, he knows how to tell a good story.
yeah, he knows how to make things gritty, which is basically what the context was. And then at the same time, you had the studio executives try to catch up with what Marvel was doing with Guardians. I think at that time, Guardians had just come out, and they wanted to have some obscure superhero team that nobody ever knew about, or the general public didn't know about, except for the fans, to compete. And I don't think it was what they expected to come out or come from David Ayer. Right? You could see with the trailer that they were trying to cut it the way that Marvel cut Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I remember that trailer for the first Suicide Squad that was cut to Bohemian Rhapsody. That is still one of the best trailers I have ever seen. But then you get to the movie that he was promoting, and it's
Nope.
sana hindi. Wag na lang.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I know we all didn't like the movie, but I still feel sorry for David Ayer not having been given those liberties to go crazy as James Gunn did.
Did you see the letter that he wrote? He wrote a letter a couple of weeks ago where he was talking about how the mental trauma that he went through making Suicide Squad and getting it chopped up by the studio was worse than anything he went through than when he was like growing up on the streets surrounded by drug addicts, or when he was getting stabbed as a gang member, or when horrible things happened during his time on a U.S. Navy submarine. All of those things were okay compared to the making of Suicide Squad.
Jesus.
I mean, like, prior to its release, the 2016 Suicide Squad, first sign of trouble was when studio released money just for reshoots. You knew that movie is going to tank.
Yeah.
Reshoots aren't always a sign of like a bad thing. It's just that the way they went about, the reason for the reshoots wasn't because the cut wasn't working. It was just because they wanted it to be more like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Boo.
Yep.
So like that completely was not the movie they shot, which I think is not the case that could be argued here. Like same as yung Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, where when you're watching that and you're watching this, you can see that this is exactly the movie the director wanted to make.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So at least for closure's sake, well, I personally hope that David Ayer gets to at least show the cut or do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get to the sequel. Okay, it was fun, it was lively, it was funny. Honestly, I thought it was the funniest DC film out there. I mean, I have not laughed that hard in a DC movie ever.
Five minutes in, you're already laughing so hard.
I know.
I was laughing at Ben Affleck when he was doing the whole Martha thing with, Henry Cavill.
That wasn't 5 minutes in. I was like 2 hours and 10 minutes in, I guess. I think.
Two painful hours just went by
painful
first.
Hours.
Painful
yeah.
hours.
So yeah, Harley Quinn and the gang, they're all back together. Well, of course, with a lot of new characters. Will Smith's not in it, thank God. Sorry. I just don't think he would be able to handle that kind of humor anymore.
It's okay. I think I think they just did like a find replace on the script and substituted Bloodsport for Deadshot.
I'm not complaining.
I would still like to give Will Smith the benefit of a doubt, considering that the first Suicide Squad was a vastly different movie from this Suicide Squad. So it depends on the story and the script and the director. So I'm guessing he could still go back to his roots of, being the Prince of Bel-Air.
I don't know. I think
I feel like it's a different humor.
Sorry, like Will Smith has had trouble choosing blockbuster roles for the last 20 years at this point. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. He used to be good at choosing this stuff.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine him with the sharp, this kind of quick, sharp kind of humor. And it's pretty dark and a little...
it's dark.
Not a little, actually. There's a lot of profanity here.
Yes.
So it's like...
It's really dark.
Like a stand-up, nice guy, good dad figure like Will Smith. I just can't imagine it. But yeah, here you once again see Joel Kinnaman.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, as Rick Flag, and of course, Viola Davis recruiting them again for.
Can I just say Viola Davis? She's way too overqualified for this, but I love her. I love her to death.
I love it. She milked the whole thing too. And she sends the crew to an enemy island where they're doing some sort of creepy alien scientific project that they have to blow up in the end. So, that's going to be fun. So, okay, now that we're done with the first impressions, okay, what did you guys think about the whole direction? Like you already mentioned, this is a James Gunn movie. What exactly made it a James Gunn movie?
Okay, first things first. Hey, there are people saying that what Warner Brothers did was hijack a guy who did Marvel movies, and they just turned they just used a Marvel format with DC characters. No, dude, you're wrong. It's a James Gunn movie. If you've seen the movie Slither, if you've seen the movie Super, then you knew what James Gunn movies were gonna be like. It's actually Guardians of the Galaxy wasn't even his first superhero movie. He actually did a lesser known movie called Supers, I think.
Super with Dwight.
Super.
Okay, Dwight.
Super with Dwight. Yes. No, Dwight from The Office. Okay, that had really dark, subversive themes. You know what subversive themes of what superheroes are supposed to be like? Because the character of Dwight, can't even remember his name in Super, but Dwight, yes, Ray Wilson.
That's how most people remember him anyway.
Yeah, kind of sad, but never mind. But Dwight's character was just this sad, this frustrated, unhappily married man wanting to just pour out all his frustrations on bad guys. So that's basically what Super was about. It's a very subversive take on what superheroes are supposed to be,
Yeah, and I guess that's kind of showed.
And then you got you got your Guardians of the Galaxy, where everything that you knew or thought you knew about the Marvel Universe just went out the window. Because it was just gonzo ridiculous from the start. When you meet Star-Lord just dancing the classic tunes while he's gonna steal some artifact at the very beginning, you get the sense that, you're a million bajillion miles away from Thor and Iron Man and Captain America. And this movie does something the same thing. In the first 5 minutes, you know immediately that this is not the 2016 Suicide Squad. You know that you're in good hands.
So from the get-go, you feel that this is kind of like Guardians. I think for what he's known now, he's known for really good ensembles, like putting a lot of goofball characters together and establishing really good chemistry. So given, we have that. We'll talk about the characters later. But the music is also very definitely something I picked up right away. Similar to Guardians, he really likes the classic tunes. Or, I don't know, it might be considered classic by the Gen Zers out there. But maybe it's like usually our time or a millennial time or elder millennial type of music. Which,
hard rock and roll type.
Yep, exactly. Which makes it also very endearing. And you add that just gives such a quirky factor, the upbeat rock, with this type of humor, the dark humor and all the blood and the gore. I feel like James Gunn has that formula down pat.
He wasn't afraid to do things like, he wasn't afraid to kill off characters. He really took to heart what the title was saying, like Suicide Squad. Okay, like within the first 5 minutes, a guy gets his face blown off. It's like, oh shit! Right then and there, I knew what I was in.
I really like that, how they right off the bat they established that nobody's safe. And we're going to fuck with you. We're going to fuck with any expectations that you have right from this moment. Because when they started marketing this movie, they were doing magazine covers, they were doing trailers or whatever. They were always showing off, we got a cast of 20 people. And you're like, whoa, how are they going to fit them all in the movie? We found out, didn't we?
Well, we found out. They get killed off one by one like flies.
Oh my God. That was just the best way to open this movie, I swear.
I also remember when they came out, before the trailers came out, it was announced James Gunn was directing the movie. James Gunn was saying, I'm not going to be, everybody's going to be, no one's safe. No characters are going to be safe. Everybody's going to die. Everybody has a chance to die.
Yeah, but everybody says that. You don't expect them to actually mean it.
That was what I was getting to. I think I was talking to you at some point. Now we were going to place bets on who's going to die and who's going to live.
Oh, yeah.
It was great because the movie did actually have that scene where the people at the back end of the operations were actually placing bets on who was going to live and who was going to die.
It's awesome.
One of the best scenes ever.
I gotta think, how many Suicide Squads have they done that for?
I don't know, ask Amanda Waller.
They also started the marketing with literally just a poster of cast names. No photos, nothing. You saw in the cast Margot Robbie, Viola Davis, Idris Elba. Oh no, twist my arm. Fine, I'll watch it. Ugh. And who else? Joel Kinnaman, obviously. And then you got, oh my God, we're just name dropping at this point, aren't we?
Good God. Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson.
Nathan Fillion.
Idris Elba?
I already said that.
Wait, I think the biggest name aside from those was John Cena.
I didn't see that.
See what you did there. Or I didn't see what you did there.
Of course. I think he's really one of the MVPs. So, okay, we're already at the whole James Gunn treatment. I think we can't get to that without discussing the amazing cast of characters that he puts together, because I feel like one of his biggest strengths is really casting, choosing his characters and writing for his characters. So yeah, okay, let's just jump into the characters. Who was your favorite?
King Shark! King Shark by a fucking mile. It's all about King Shark.
I want
Weasel.
the King Shark plushie.
King Shark is the best thing.
Weasel is the best.
Sylvester Stallone, man. I mean, these are like one-liners, but he just like steals the show.
It's like, I'm sorry, Groot. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't.
He has a wider vocabulary than Groot, you know?
Yeah.
Like, nom nom.
Because he's
Friend.
smart.
He's cute. He's smart. While he reads a book upside down.
Bird.
No, look, okay. The funniest comment I've seen somebody say about King Shark was, King Shark sounds like Sylvester Stallone doing a Sylvester Stallone impression. Which is actually true. I mean, it kind of makes sense. It looks like he's doing an impression of himself.
And it worked so well. And his design, he's just like so fat and like squishy. Well, not really squishy. He's made out of muscle, but he looks really huggable.
He really does.
Yeah.
And
I may have read
shorts.
something like somebody was saying that
From
the
man
novel
eating
was supposed to be
jean
this
short
baby
wearing
King Shark.
Oh,
Not yet a fully grown King Shark. Yeah.
I don't want him to grow up ever.
Yeah, I don't want him to grow up.
Yeah, I just want him to stay in those little jean
innocent
shorts.
King Shark.
I know. And I just love the scene where he just like, okay, friend. or like after he tears a guy apart with his teeth, he's just snacking on a hand slowly, like it's a lollipop. Oh my god, so cute. It's so brutal, but it's so cute. Nom nom.
See, that's like, those are the things like James Gunn does that people think are funny, but it's actually pretty dark. Like, you don't see characters in a Marvel movie like using like a dismembered arm as a toothpick, or, you know, munching on a dismembered arm. You don't see a guy's face blown off in like full widescreen as a first shot in an action scene, right?
Yeah.
That is true. But, you know, I mean, they'd have a harder time selling that in Disneyland, I think, if heads were exploding.
I'd buy it.
Yeah.
I'd fucking buy it. But yeah, this is like something Marvel would never even dream of doing.
We have yet to see that, because they're saying that they're going to be moving Deadpool to Marvel, right?
Excuse me, but
it's
under
be an R-rated
Disney,
movie.
Disney, I doubt they're going to be able to push that far.
I don't know, because
they won't even make Cruella smoke.
Marvel now.
Yeah, and you know, see, Monica Baccarin was like, you know, pegging Ryan Reynolds in that first movie.
Oh God, yeah.
I don't think that's gonna happen in part 3.
No,
I don't care how R-rated Disney makes Deadpool 3. I don't think, you know, they can go as far as they. But you never know. You never know.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. But I'm just happy this happened. All right, so do I start talking about Idris Elba now? We're not gonna stop.
We're never going to end if you start talking about
Idris Elba. You know why
Elba.
it's okay to talk about Idris Elba now?
He's so hot.
Yeah, okay, fine, whatever. Priorities. But the last time you talked about Idris Elba, you know, you were talking about cats.
All right. This is like, okay, this makes up for that time. Because I remember when Misha and I saw Cats, it's literally that one time I could go like, Idris Elba, put the clothes back on, please. Please put the clothes back on.
It was so bad. It was so fucking bad.
But now I'm like,
I never thought I'd hear this from you.
I know,
I'm
right?
not kidding. Kahit ako, I was like, is there such a thing as too naked? That's it. That's that.
It's
Idris Elba as a cat. That's too naked.
And this is me, okay? You know my priorities, and that is like a big statement. But like, okay,
I guess he
Suicide
did
Squad.
have a big statement. There we go, and we're back.
But yeah, here I'm not complaining about the well, he is pretty covered up in a lot of parts. But yeah, I get the white tank top moments. I'm good.
Yeah, and you got it with John Cena and Joel Kinnaman.
Wait, oh my God. Can I just say that shot? I know. Okay, we'll get to the depth of his character later. I just need to get this
Go
out.
for it. Go.
There's this scene where they escape from like a van and then it topples over and then you see Idris Elba, Joel Kinnaman, and John Cena walking all cool and macho. And I'm like, Oh, my ovaries. Okay, I'm done. So on to the character.
That concludes the thirst portion of our program.
On to the next. On to the next portion of our program.
I swear we should get sponsored by like a drink and I can have like an entire segment of just being thirsty. Segment idea, sponsor, hello. Then I can just like release my thirsty thoughts and we're done. So okay, on to Bloodsport. He, like Misha said, he's literally kind of like a find replace for Will Smith's character who wasn't available, quote unquote, for this movie. Or did he just flat out turn it down? I don't know. I don't care. I'm just happy Idris Elba's here and he plays a single dad who is also like an amazing sharpshooter.
Yeah, literally Will Smith's character.
Yeah, literally. But literally find replace.
I am so sorry, but when you said the scene with the daughter first, I just remember the entire exchange.
Yeah.
I was already laughing.
Yeah,
I just remembered it.
Yeah, like there's this scene in jail before he gets recruited. Idris Elba shouting like at his 16-year-old daughter, them just screaming, "Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!"
In contrast to what we had with Will Smith and his, to the character of Will Smith's Deadshot in the first Suicide Squad movie, where he's supposed to be a caring father and his daughter, like we have Bloodsport screaming profanity with his sister, with
Fuck
his
you!
daughter.
Fuck you!
Oh, what are you in here for? He stole a cell phone. Not even like a stupid. It's not even like a good cell phone. It's something stupid.
It's a TV watch.
It was a TV watch. It does other stuff too.
Nothing your phone can't do.
See, I love it. I'm not just happy because, of course, I love Idris Elba. We have established that. But I just don't think Will Smith is capable of this kind of humor. Like,
yeah.
or not anymore.
I think at some point, Will Smith started to take himself seriously. Whereas, the way I see Idris Elba playing this, he's got into an age where he's comfortable enough with himself that he can make fun of himself. Because you know him all these serious, dramatic roles, you know?
Like Luther.
Like Luther, exactly. Or even Luther. Heimdall, come on. Right? Everyone in Asgard is charming as all hell, but Heimdall is just boring. But, here,
that's true.
And even in that Fast and the Furious spinoff, where he was a freaking cyborg.
Yeah.
He was a fucking cyborg. He's loosening up. Mm-hmm. And I think you can see that a lot in his personal life also, where, he's like a DJ and he's doing more comedy. And I like new Idris Elba.
I like
Idris Elba.
He's trying new things and I'm all for it.
I think that's him in general as a person, because there was a time he actually trained to be a professional Muay Thai fighter.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah, I saw that documentary. So I think it just really is in him where, he's just gonna be Idris Elba. I'm gonna Idris Elba the shit out of it. I'm gonna try this out, which works out.
Did you guys see that video meme where he's like, "I'm Idris Elba, bitch." There's this guy pretending to be Idris Elba, and he's just literally doing anything. That's Idris Elba for you.
I like the one where he goes to be a barista.
That's exactly the video I'm talking about.
How hard could it be? Just make foamy coffee.
I'm Idris Elba.
But are you qualified?
I'm Idris Elba.
Okay, going back to the character of Bloodsport, why I think he is such a better character than Deadshot was.
Oh yeah,
is because we see the reluctant leader archetype, right? Mm-hmm. We see how in relation. We'll get to the next character because in his character just works so well with Peacemaker. I don't think Bloodsport's character will work without Peacemaker. It's because
they're the same guy.
They're the same guy. Only the other guy does the same thing the other guy does, only better. Right?
I love this whole rivalry between them. It's amazing.
Yes. So
Peacemaker is John Cena, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Did you see him?
I heard that it was John Cena, by the way.
Who was Idris Elba flipping off this entire time?
I guess because that character, that reluctant leader archetype, can't be completed without Peacemaker. Because the whole time it was just really them trying, yung pataasan sila ng ihe, they were just trying to outdo each other.
I love that.
Trying to prove who's the more macho guy, only to realize that being a true leader you had to have vulnerability, which completed Bloodsport's character arc. There you go.
Man, I'm not even, I didn't even go that far with it. I was just loving the fact that they were murdering people to see who could kill more.
Kill more, kill better.
Credibility naman tayo.
Yeah. At least we went there because the thirst was going overboard on my part, so he had to
I had to balance
cancel
it out
it out
a little bit.
Yeah. You know. But yeah, this that is another reason why I can't imagine Will Smith having a entire conversation about dicks on the beach with John Cena. Idris Elba just threw lines at John Cena perfectly.
I know.
and John Cena just threw the chemistry between those two guys. It's just incredible. It was so snappy. Mm-hmm. The dialogue was just so natural. It was I don't know if it may be Cena's in-ring wrestling training. He's been one of the best workers on the mic in the WWE.
To be fair, and I remember when he first started, I just fucking hated him. I could not stand his whole, I'm a white rapper, it's cool, look at me.
Well, he kind of does look like Marky Mark.
He looks like Mark Wahlberg on more steroids.
Well, yeah.
But then, as the years went by, we found out he has a crazy ass work ethic and they refined the character so he was less crude. And and then he, taught himself Mandarin to talk to China. Not always a good thing, though. Not always a good thing, but also, just the whole work ethic thing. It made sense that he would become their next big movie star.
So exactly. From thug life to word life. That was it.
And he has brilliant comedic timing. And yes. I also heard, I read some interviews that out of all the cast, he did the most improv.
No way.
So he's probably used to it, being in the ring and, throwing out insults and lines and everything. But I remember reading this interview, even before they were giving a lot of details about the Suicide Squad. Joel Kinnaman, I think, was the one who said, oh my God, he was just floored at John Cena's improv lines. And they were just so filthy that they couldn't use probably 80% of it. So that's how in character, that's how committed John Cena was to this role. And
him marketing the movie after this just shows how committed he was, because he stole the costume, right? And he walked around
he won't give
LA.
It back.
He was walking around LA in costume.
In a nutshell.
He's going to premieres. He's going to interviews.
It's the way James Gunn sold him on Peacemaker was Captain America, but a douchebag. It makes so much sense.
That is clear as spring water. You get it. You get the character right away and his purpose and how he adds to this amazing cast. And even just the physical comedy between John Cena and Idris Elba. Idris Elba giving him the middle finger and Peacemaker giving jack off hands.
That was one of the best scenes.
It's jacking off and throwing the comb at Idris Elba. So fucking mature.
When they were when James Gunn was being interviewed and saying, can you tell us about the characters? And said Peacemaker is going to be a douchebag Captain America. I really couldn't put a finger at how they were going to do it. And then we see John Cena. I was like, yes, a douchebag at Captain America.
And just to add to that, you see him in his tiny whities.
Read the thirsty portion again.
I laughed so hard because superhero movie. You don't really see superheroes in their underwear now, do you?
No,
I like that he doesn't even
in the middle of the jungle.
He doesn't explain it. He doesn't address it. He's just No,
I like the fact that it was Bloodsport who addressed it and he just accepted. He's like, what are you gonna do?
He was like, that's racist.
Why are you in your tighty whities? That's racist, dude. No, it's really not.
Margot Robbie, I think, still cannot for the life of her do a decent Jewish girl from Brooklyn accent as Harley Quinn. She really
it slips in and out.
I love her energy. You can tell she's so committed to this role you can tell that she really loves being Harley Quinn. We saw that in the first god-awful Suicide Squad. We saw that in Harley
Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey.
And
I liked it.
Now
I like that one.
we see it here. She's clearly having the time of her life. And at least it's not as cringe as in the first movie where she was in those tiny ass shorts for no reason whatsoever.
Then I like the fact that she had a really good character arc here. I mean, how James Gunn really wrote her to make better choices in men coming from the Joker. Right?
I love like that part where she gets kidnapped by the leader, the president guy, and he happens to also be hot. I'm gonna stop there. But she says it herself. I'm just gonna continue on with her saying he gives her a marriage proposal, and he's like, "Oh, together we can." And that's not. Yeah.
Why are you French?
Why are you French?
Why are you French?
I know. I just can't. I said that's not the point.
Okay, fine.
I can't do it. So it's like, oh, marry me, we will take over the world, blah, blah, blah. And then she just proceeds to just like kiss him and be like, you're so freaking hot. It's like, yes, same, Harley, same. And when he starts showing red flags after they have wild, destructive sex, you know, he has a cigarette by the window and his polo shirt and tiny whities, and then just saying, yep. He was doing a supervillain speech, saying his evil plan, and like, bam!
Out of the blue. It's like, I wasn't expecting that. I was like, oh!
Nagulat ako.
Pero I like it.
I liked it too. And she was like, I can't do the accent either, but she's like, I promised myself I would like, when I see my next boyfriend, if he starts showing red flags, I would murder him. And it's not even like, walk away, Harley. No, I really have to murder him.
Anyone after Jugaloo Joker would be an improvement.
Yeah.
That's true, though.
But other than that, my friend just messaged me and she was like, I really love the fact that she's not sexualized in this movie.
Yes, exactly right.
In her super suit, like when she first came out in the movie, she was wearing her Harley Quinn outfit, which was almost straight out of the comic book. I really like that. I really like that. I like that more than the Suicide Squad, the 2016 Suicide Squad.
Because
costume.
that just made her look some kind of coked out whore. That was stupid. Like, that was fucking stupid.
You were going into, this crazy secret mission where you're going to be killing people. And, again, I'm going to go back to the Black Widow episode where, why are you wearing heels? They're not even like the wedges that we see in superhero movies. They're fucking stilettos. That's so not tactical at all.
Yeah, at least for the most part during the start, she was in a practical battle outfit. But I'm not sure about the whole non-sexualized part because they did doll her up to meet the dude.
They just told you that the dude had red flags.
At least it wasn't like it's still like kind of dolling her up, and she spends like most of the film in a very painfully impractical poofy red dress. But at least it wasn't it wasn't sexual. It was like, okay, I guess I can get by this because it's circumstantial.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, she was presented to the guy, and then she escapes, and she's in prison and everything, and she's still wearing that dress, which she also uses as functional later on. Right. She uses it as a weapon. She tears like a part of it off. So I'm not mad at it, but there's still that element to it, like, oh, I have to get dolled up for the bad guy, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but then her being sexualized wasn't because of them trying to sell the movie. It was because they were trying to sell the idea of the bad guy. But I also like the part that they pointed out the fact that she had to wear combat boots when she was trying to escape because she stole combat boots. It's like, oo naman.
Yeah, that's practical. Oh, and did you hear about that scene where she's all tied up and being tortured, and that part where she pulls herself up? There were no effects. Like she literally,
that's all her.
It's all her arm and core strength, dude. It's like, what? Yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
Looks like somebody does aerial ballet. She did that for Suicide Squad also, though.
She's amazing.
Who actually had more character development than Harley, though? It was totally Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag.
Oh, yes.
Because he was just such a non-entity in the first movie.
He was generic.
You could just swap him out with
boring.
Jai Courtney or Joel Edgerton, apparently.
Oh my God.
No, here Scott Eastwood was in the first one.
But he wasn't Rick Flag.
I thought you'd be confused again.
He wasn't Rick Flag.
I was
He was
testing
testing you.
No, the three guys I went with don't have J names. You're just a racist by saying white people all look the same.
No, I mean, because he was in the movies. And he was a soldier.
Moving on.
Okay, going back to your point.
Yeah, because he was just boring as sin in that first movie. But here you actually give a crap about him. You actually care. He's kind of likable. And you actually feel something, when he kicks it at the end of the movie.
Oh, it's kind of sad. I was like, oh, just when you started getting interesting, you die.
Fucking John Cena.
That was a great fight scene, though. That amazing shot with the helmet.
Was great.
It's like that
reflection
didn't
of the
serve
helmet.
anything to the story except to look cool, and it worked.
It really
looked so cool. But yeah, Rick Flag, he proved himself to be a good stand-up guy.
Not some yes man to Amanda Waller.
Mm-hmm. And I'm actually, I'm looking forward to seeing that what James Gunn comes up with, because they already announced that John Cena was getting a spin-off TV series starring Peacemaker, which the movie helped set up. So if we're gonna get more of douchebag Captain America, that sounds like fun.
I hope Idris Elba makes a cameo and they still flip each other off.
That. I mean, I never would have thought I would have enjoyed a character as silly looking as John Cena, as Peacemaker. Like the guy who wears a toilet bowl on his head. I enjoyed him so much. Can we talk about that scene where he had with Bloodsport, where they were just trying to one up each other?
They just go on killing people. So, okay, he is ridiculous by all means, but I also love his twisted type of thinking that I don't care if women or children die, just as long as we achieve peace.
He will kill as many as necessary to achieve peace.
Exactly. So it's like, what the fuck? Okay, that's twisted, but he just commits to it. And this is where like the big twist or the big moral, dilemma comes up when Rick Flag and Peacemaker face off. And apparently there are tapes of this whole big science experiment in which America is actually involved. And Peacemaker doesn't want this to get out. Because like, oh no, it's just gonna be chaos. But then Rick Flag, being the stand-up guy, like, no, we have to show this. Like, we also need to be responsible and take responsibility for this monster we've helped create. And I just like that conflict because, I don't know, this is how politics kind of works. It's like, do we not tell people that because it'll cause a shitstorm? Or do you tell people because it's the right thing to do?
That is true.
There's the alt-right versus the alt-left.
Pretty much. So that was an interesting, conflict between Peacemaker and Rick Flag. But unfortunately, R.I.P.
There. But hey, we got Starro out of it.
Oh my god, so stupid.
So like the bad guy of this movie is a giant alien starfish.
I have a question. Starfish is another term for butthole.
No.
Is there any relation?
No.
Okay. That was Peacemaker, by the way.
And
I have a question.
I love Starro, and I think he's Deng's favorite bad guy of all time now because it just looks so ridiculous. It's a giant purple starfish that they made no effort whatsoever to look credible. They just took
pink, blue, and purple.
Stupidest render humanly possible that they could have made, and then they made it more ridiculous. And it just looks awesome.
There's this big eye in the middle.
It's so messed up.
I can't even imagine how they would make a purple blue starfish look threatening, to be honest.
It actually did not look threatening at all. But
I think James Gunn did that on purpose. He's like, oh, you're gonna let me do anything you say? Well,
a huggable shark and a huggable gigantic kaiju starfish
that can take over your brain with its children.
Yeah, and spits out millions of tiny starfish babies through his armpits.
He needs to use gigantic Rexona.
It's so stupid.
It is so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But, for the record, Starro, I mean, for better or worse, Starro is to the Justice League as Loki was to the Avengers. He was the first bad guy they ever fought. That's why they had to team up and make a team.
Yes,
Team up and
that
make
was
a
in
team.
19. I think.
And so like
Yeah, I get
I'm
your point.
watching this and wala, sabi ko talaga dang, I'm like, this is a Justice League problem. What are these fools gonna do? What can they possibly do? You got Ratcatcher, you got Peacemaker. Okay, Peacemaker's
Ratcatcher
I'm sorry,
2.
Ratcatcher 2.
What happened to the first
Ratcatcher
one? He died.
And that goes back to what you were saying.
Ratcatcher 1 died.
Earlier about Z-list villains, because Ratcatcher is a Z-list villain of Batman, and you're gonna give us the sequel Ratcatcher? I'm like, okay, fine. Who else do you got? You got Polka Dot Man, who literally throws polka dots.
Okay, I want to talk about.
You have not Will Smith as Idris Elba, played by Idris Elba. You got Harley Quinn, who is a nut job. What are they gonna do against a giant starfish?
Well, it all works out.
Well, they did have a shark.
They had a shark.
So
he's the best shark. He's the best shark.
I like that their shark would make baby C4 snowmen as gifts for Peacemaker.
Peacemaker.
Yes, that looks nothing like you.
Or he would make friends with those genetic experiments in the aquarium that looked like the bad guys from the first Space Jam.
They kind of did.
Oh, it's like fetus
They
monsters.
kind of did though. They were cute until they were
friends.
And they just hops around the aquarium. So adorbs.
It gets bitten by them. Oh, and you did mention, okay, let's get to the supporting cast, more quirky people. Polka Dot
Oh
Man,
my God.
let's start with him.
What the actual hell?
This guy has mommy issues. It's like, I find it hard. What was the quote? I find it hard to kill people, but when I think of my mother, it becomes easy. It's like, what the fuck? And then later we see him seeing people in his mom's image. It's like, what the hell?
Exactly. It's like he tells his little backstory that he's apparently some science experiment too, that he throws polka dots, radioactive,
interdimensional.
Interdimensional polka dots at people, and he tells his story how that happened, and then his brothers died, and everybody's like, so where's your mom?
No way in hell.
Everywhere.
There's no way in hell you would have sold Polka Dot Man to anyone if you're not James Gunn.
They said he could do anything.
He did, and he did do everything he wanted to do.
Absolutely.
How about Starro as giant polka dot man's mom? And that's how he has his big hero moment, by imagining the big bad
I like
as
that
his
when
mother.
it was Bloodsport commanding everyone. Nanawe, nom nom, Polka Dot Man, it's your mom!
You know what's weird? I just realized, every single bad guy in this movie, every single member of the Suicide Squad, except for Rick Flag maybe, has parental issues. Every single one. Well, maybe not Harley, but, we don't know what her issue, she's already got terrible judgment in men, but right?
Well, yeah, we know that, but, well, Bloodsport is kind of but his
dad also locked him in a box with rats.
Yeah. Oh, right. That's why he was so afraid of rats.
And then Polka Dot Man's got mommy issues. Ratcatcher 2's got daddy issues.
No, she doesn't have issues. She loves him.
Yeah, I guess. But,
And who wouldn't love your father if he was Taika Waititi?
Oh my God, when I saw who it was, I was like, you did not.
Wouldn't you love your father if he was Taika Waititi? Of course you would.
That was so amazingly random. I'm like, I just went with it. I'm like, yes, that makes so much sense.
It was so random, but he managed to give Ratcatcher 2 a pretty sympathetic story too.
Yeah, and you see that amazing flashback where he's hugging his daughter and they're about to sleep and they get covered by a million rats.
Didn't you see that?
Yeah, I didn't know whether to feel the warmth of love or to feel disgusted by the whole image.
I was disgusted. I was fucking disgusted by all the rats throughout the entire finale. There's no way you could justify it. I don't care how clean rats are. It was gross.
You see the dark humor of how ironic the themes of James Gunn can be. It's just so strange.
Like an army of rats. I mean, when it's just Ratcatcher 2's little main rat, Sebastian was
the main rat.
Yeah, it was Sebastian. He was actually pretty cute on his own. You know how he's trying to be nice to Idris Elba. He's being nice to Bloodsport, but he just really hates rats.
Adorable? He was trying to offer that leaf.
I know. It's like, oh, he sees good in you. That's why he wants to be friends.
One rat.
And then Idris is like, oh no.
But not a
It was
million.
cute, but when they
be swimming in eye juice and blood with rats and saliva.
Not when you're using rats as blankets. Oh.
But well, they did the job.
The true heroes, the rats.
Good Lord, the rat.
Kind of, that magic wand of hers is kind of cool to have.
So I guess we've gotten to the main gang, and okay, but there's still like a shitload of random characters who die off. TDK
is probably the best.
TDK. The detachable kid. What the fuck? And nobody knows why he's TDK until the big fight scene at the start. And putang ina, biglang wala na siyang arms. Lumilipad na sila papunta sa mga bad guy.
Ang yabang pa niya. Parang, he was asked, what does TDK stand for? TDK is me. It's my name. So
and it's Nathan Fillion. So you think, oh, okay, they got a star. So like, he's going to be around for the whole movie.
Nope. So I like the fact that parang, the detachable kid. Parang they hyped him up so much, but he gets his arms out. Oh, fuck, that's his powers. And you thought those arms would be zooming into the bad guys. Nope, they were floating towards them. Meandering pace.
Very slowly.
To
floating
punch
to
them,
the bad
grab
guys.
their weapons? No. To slap them, poke them in the eye. Oh.
The best part was when they were machine gunning the arms and he was writhing in pain 20 feet away.
I was laughing so hard during that part.
I think like the best terms, I think it's better to say it in Tagalog. Nangingisay siya kahit di naman siya binabaril.
Ang ina, sobrang gago.
How about Javelin? Like that guy and that guy with the Scandinavian accent and the big javelin, he's like that's not a euphemism, he did have a big javelin. It was like that guy was posting on his Instagram about how he put on 30 pounds of muscle because he read in his research that Javelin was a former Olympian and he didn't want to disappoint the viewers. He's in this movie for about 45 seconds.
Well, the question is, did he disappoint you?
Well, he looked pretty big, I guess.
And I love when he actually dies and Harley Quinn's right next to him. He hands her the javelin and he gives her a mission but doesn't finish it. But Harley Quinn starts to caress his face as he dies but actually slaps the shit out of him. What? Do what? You didn't tell me!
Anjo,
Adorbs.
Tell us about your favorite character.
Oh my God, the favorite character? My favorite character was Weasel. Literally the most useless character in the movie. Like they were hyping First to go? Question mark.
It's like he killed 27 children.
Like it's so funny because they're hyping him up. He sat beside Blackguard and he was like, "Yo, what are you? You sat me beside a werewolf." But prior to that, they're even arguing what kind of dog he was, an Afghan hound or something, right? And then when they actually get off the plane to jump into the water so they can sneak into that island, he starts drowning. And I love the fact that in the back office where the operations were being handled,
where the guys
Amanda Waller is just saying, nobody even bothered to check if Weasel can swim.
Nope. And he did.
Or is he?
Dun, dun, dun. But yeah, I just love that scene where they were just back at the jail during the recruitment and he's just like licking a window.
and then Bloodsport looks at him and they make eye contact. He stops for a bit and just proceeds mid-lick to finish it. It's like
like just the physical comedy of that and the timing that was impeccable.
No. So, James Gunn really hit the nail on this one. Rumors are saying that
great characters.
He's supposedly developing a Gotham City Siren script for Warner Brothers now.
Does that mean Harley's finally gonna hook up with Poison Ivy on the big screen?
We'll see. There are still rumors until proven not. We'll wait for a Variety article to confirm that.
Okay. So yeah, we have established that amazing cast. They're basically what made this so fun. You know, their sheer chemistry, the sheer idiocy of it all. But any memorable scenes or lines? We've mentioned a
so
few
much.
already, but you know,
There's
just
so
go
much.
crazy.
I mean, like the whole, like waving the dick around. Oh, scatter all of this all over this beach if I wanted to. The sack of dicks. What? What are they talking about?
Just that conversation. It was so ridiculous, but it just worked so well. It was so simple. You could miss it if you're not paying attention.
Peacemaker
but it
is a mood.
golden.
I shit you not. Peacemaker is a fucking mood.
I like anything with King Shark. Anything.
Oh yes, yeah. He
Every
steals
time
the
he
scene.
opens his mouth,
Definitely.
it's gold.
One of the best parts is when they're trying to rescue Harley and they're communicating with the operations. Like, what do you got? I got only one person on the second floor. Bird.
King Shark, get off the telecom.
Poor King Shark.
And also that whole part, they were trying to save Harley, but like she did shit herself. She murdered every single person in that jail
One of
she
the
was
most
in.
violent scenes ever.
Oh yeah,
fucking
dude. She
brutal.
just like she shish kebabs people, she strangles them, she stabs them, shoots them in the
so
face,
pretty.
the whole shebang.
Flowers.
And she had flowers popping
I
around.
like that part, that whole Mary
And-
Poppins sequence. That was so fun. Like when she was all guns akimbo with these two gigantic machine guns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it just works, even though, like, where the fuck did these flowers come from? But you know what? James Gunn has just been able to make it so ridiculous that anything at all would
Yeah.
just make fucking sense in this movie. It's like, okay, maybe it's her imagination. Maybe they are actual flowers.
No.
but do you
Maybe
care?
she finds joy in
It's
violence.
fine,
Maybe
it's
that's
pretty.
why the flowers were there.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And, in her pretty red floofy dress and, using it as a
Mhm.
wepen too.
I
So
like
very
the part where
smart
she
of her.
actually gets out of the building and she says, "Hey guys, what are you doing?" And then, "We're trying to rescue you."
And Idris Elba's like up,
Yeah, but then she's
scaling the
like,
wall
I can
already.
go. Oh, that's
He's
so touchy.
like,
I can just go back inside. Oh, well, that's patronizing.
I love Harley. I
She-
mean, Margot Robbie can't
she
do wrong
pulled
with
it
Harley
off
Quinn
really well.
ever.
Sans the slip ups and the accent are forgivable if she can do justice to the character.
Oh, and just Pete Davidson getting his face blown off first
Always
5
good.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was an interview that James Gunn said Pete Davidson barely did improv for his script. He was just delivering everything from the script in a Pete Davidson way, much like Robert Downey did everything for Tony Stark.
Well, good for Pete. I mean, I love how he also like really hyped up this role, and I feel like he's really in on the joke that we're hyping this up, but I die in the first 5 minutes. Yeah, mic drop.
So
I'm out.
technically, he's the
bitches.
first to die, right?
Yeah.
Not Weasel.
Yeah. Either way, people die violently. And, some members of the Suicide Squad are kind of more
I
useless
still
than
can't forget how he dies. So it's like, bye face, boom.
Bye, bitch. But okay, yeah. So this is what makes it generally the characters, how we love them, how absolutely ridiculous they are. So would you recommend this movie?
We gotta know. Did we watch the same movie?
I hated it. No, fuck you. I'm gonna. Yes, please watch this movie. It redeems. No, it doesn't redeem. It erases the memory of the first one in every way.
Oof.
To be honest, like
Brutal.
at first I was apprehensive about the whole notion of letting him do whatever he wants. But when you look at it as a total package, like it just works. It really works. James Gunn knew what he wanted to do and he went for it, and this movie is better for it. Yes, highly recommended.
Yeah.
Yes. Same thing. Anything that James Gunn writes and directs is pretty good. He's known more as a writer, which is why we know he can tell really good stories. And as a director, he's got great timing. He's got great artistic vision as well. Saying that this movie is fun as hell is an understatement. You really have to watch it to get an idea of what we're talking about.
Hella fun. I mean, it checks all the boxes for me. Violence, yes. Crude humor, yes. Oddball characters,
Idris Elba.
yes. Idris
Never mind, but that's a sure check though.
It is a very big check for me, obviously. And good soundtrack. It just like ties together perfectly. And the script as well, sharp, witty. I love it. And I feel like James Gunn just really has this expertise in bringing characters together and just directing to them so well how they should take their role and understand their character, to the point that I don't even know where in the script which is written by James Gunn, which is improv, because you know that these people, these actors embody these characters so well that if you like just take them out without cameras but they're still in character, I feel like they would still talk like that. They would have the same kind of conversations, and it's amazing.
It's like the fact that
I am walking back and forth.
if you have unregistered license plates, you die.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Yes. So hella fun, guys. So needless to say, we do recommend the Suicide Squad for 2021 by James Gunn. And if you didn't enjoy the 2016 one, well, this is just totally gonna make up or erase it, like Misha said. So yes, highly recommend.
Word.
Friend.
Book smart.
I will now for
I can't wait to get my King Shark action figure.
I want the plushie so bad where you squeeze him, he says one of the catchphrases.
There's one?
I would want one.
No, I want one. I will pitch it to toy companies.
I think Mattel owns
be
the
rich.
license now. Oh no, McFarlane does.
Okay, so there you go. We do recommend this, and just watch it. It's hella fun. So yeah, that's been an episode. We hope if you've seen Suicide Squad, you enjoyed this discussion as well. So let us know what you thought, or if you want us to discuss any other fun, oddball, violent movies that you enjoyed seeing. Let us know. We are on Facebook, Sub-Auteurs We Like Movies. Look for our group. Join us. We post a lot of fun movie news and memes and whatnot. And we're also on Instagram, instagram.com/sub_auteurs. And we shall see you in the next episode.
See you guys.
Thank you. I am MJ.
I'm Misha.
And I'm Anjo.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Friend.
No.
Bye. No.
No, at the same time.
And no. Bird.